Hey hikers, so before we get into today's episode, I just want to let you know that I'm currently enrolling for my signature 12-week program, the Online Summit program. Now this week, I'm specifically looking for hikers who want to get strong and pain-free so they can conquer every adventure they set their mind to without having to do hours and hours of exercise and training every single week. Now, if that does sound like you, I would absolutely love if you could message me on Instagram or Facebook to the Summit Strength page, or shoot me an email to rowan@summitstrength.com.au with the words "I'm interested." From there, we can have a chat and see if or how I might be a good fit for your goals and if or how you might be a good fit for this particular program. I would absolutely love to hear from you and start off this year strong. So if you're interested, make it happen. Hey, my name is Rowan Smith and I want to welcome you to the Training for Trekking podcast. Now, this is the world's very first podcast which is entirely dedicated to helping you train, prepare, and conquer your upcoming hike, trek, or mountain adventure. So once a week, I'm going to be giving you quality and practical information on the subjects of physical preparation for trekking, dealing with altitude, and nutrition on the trail, so you can know everything you need to be doing to have the best chance of a safe, enjoyable, and successful adventure. So now you know what you're in for. Let's get into today's episode. I firmly believe that following a structured, progressive, and individualized strength and conditioning program is the single best thing any hiker, trekker, or backpacker can do to improve their comfort, their enjoyment, and also their likelihood of success on their adventures. That is something I am 100% believe. That is something I've literally based my life around and my business around and my career around. And that is something that I've been talking about again and again and again on this podcast over these, so many episodes. And I know that many hikers out there do some type of training to help them on the trail, whether it's to help improve their fitness, help to, support their joints or whatever it may be. However, there is, when it comes down to it, often a large gap between what I'm talking about with a progressive, structured strength and conditioning program and what a hiker may actually be doing in their training. And as much as I talk about all these different elements of training and all these different elements of programming on this podcast, more often than not, when I discuss this with a hiker who's been doing a little bit of training, what they're doing is very, very far away from what I'm trying to get at with this podcast and what I'm trying to get at with this information. So today, what I want to do is share just a few common examples of training approaches, which many hikers do follow and which I hear again and again when I'm having conversations with hikers, which I wouldn't necessarily consider a structured strength and conditioning program. And it's not to say these things are bad and they're not worth doing, but if you truly want to see results, you may need to step things up to really, really reach your potential. And if you're thinking, look, I've been doing training and I haven't really been getting fitter, haven't seen improvements on the trail, I haven't been seeing improvements in my pain relief or anything it may be, maybe you're making one of these mistakes, and I want to go through them today. Now, mistake number one, and I have talked about this quite a few times on the podcast, and this is something I hear every single week, is I'll ask a hiker what they're doing with their training, and they say, look, I'm doing a little bit of walking, but with my strength training, I'm generally doing lots of squats and lots of lunges. And I'll tell you right now, yes, these two exercises can be beneficial for the trail, but just doing 2 or 3 exercises of squats and lunges does not constitute a program. Even if it's been structured out and it's recommended you do it 3 times a week and do these repetitions, that is not a program and it cannot count as something. And if that's all you're doing, yes, it may help you slightly, but you are missing out on huge potential. When it comes down to that, you really do need to be expanding your repertoire of exercises. You need to be training the body in balance, not just training the front of the legs, but making sure you're hitting the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes as well. You need to be varying the exercises every once in a while, and you need to be building that out a little bit more. So if that's all you're doing and all you're doing is squats and lunges, you might consider stepping things up a little bit. The second mistake I often see, or the second situation I often see with this, is when someone's been prescribed, 4 or 5 exercises, maybe from, a personal trainer, maybe from a physio or whatever it may be, and they're just told to repeat them every single day, do a certain amount of repetitions and again and again and again do them. Again, this is not a program. They may be beneficial exercises and they may be recommended to you, but this is not a program. Again, a program is going to involve more than 3 or 4 or 5 exercises. And doing the same thing every single day of the week, or 5 days a week, or 4 days a week, again, you can be looking at so much better improvements and better potential if you build that out a little bit more, change it up, give yourself some variation, and give yourself some better structure. Another mistake which I see again and again and again and again is hikers following a program. It may be a structured program, but it does not change. And they're doing the same exercises, the same routine, week after week, month after month. Yes, a hiker, to get the best results with their strength training, absolutely needs some consistency and should be repeating a workout for a few weeks at a time. But that does not mean repeating the same workout for months and months and months with no change. The body needs progression. It needs new stimulus. If you're doing the same thing you've been doing months ago or years ago in some cases, you're probably not really getting many benefits out of it anymore. You need a change. You need to build things out. You need to step things up if you want to reach your potential. And the final thing I want to talk about today is if you're following a program which changes every single week, that's another mistake. And that's not a program as well, because the program will build things out in a way that's balancing out consistency and giving the body the consistency it needs to learn exercises, to master exercises, to improve, but also variation in the sense that giving it new stimulus when it needs so it doesn't get stale. But if you're changing things every single time you train, it's not going to have the consistency it needs. The body's not going to be able to learn exercises properly. It's not going to be able to master exercises properly. You're not going to be able to progress things and slowly build step by step by step. Changing something every week can be a bit more fun for some people, but it's not an incredibly effective way of going about your programming. If you are a hiker who's looking to improve your fitness, you're looking to improve your strength, looking to step up onto bigger trails, looking to sort of be more comfortable in the trails you're doing or whatever it may be, and if you're doing any of those approaches that I've just mentioned, I strongly, strongly, strongly urge you to have a think about it. Change things up a little bit, build things up a little bit, follow a little bit more of a structured, progressive approach. Go through these things I've been talking about on the podcast again and again and again and again. This thing works. And as I said before, if you can follow a structured, progressive, and individualized strength and conditioning program, it is the single best thing you can do to improve your performance, your comfort, and reduce your risk of pain and injury on the trail. So please, if you're looking to improve, make sure you're not following those approaches. And if you do need help, reach out. Now, if you were in this situation where you're like, look, Rowan, I hear what you're saying, but I have absolutely no idea how to go about this. I have no idea how to step things up. I have no idea if I'm actually going to ever be able to reach my potential in regards to fitness for the trail. Now, I have something for you and I would love to help you with this. As I've said throughout this week I'm running a promotion for my signature program, which is called the Online Summit Program. And I'm specifically looking for no more than 10 hikers who want to get strong and pain-free over the next 12 weeks so they can conquer every adventure. If you do need help with this, if you want help building up your fitness, building up your strength, reducing your pain for the trail, then I would absolutely love to hear from you. Shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook or email me at rowan@summitstrength.com.au with the words "I'm interested." We can have a conversation, see if or how the program may be right for you, and we can go from there. So if you do need help, now's the time to reach out. I would love to hear from you, and we'll take it from there. So thank you so much for listening today, guys. I do hope you got a little bit out of it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.